So today's Tuesday, and it's cool because when I came here, I was the only car in the parking lot, so I know I am the only human being here, so I actually can feel comfortable speaking at a normal volume, the volume I normally would. I just don't feel hyper conscious or just any of that. So, lots to talk about. First off, I will start with the fact that today at work I made 159 dials. Bunch more people picked up. None of them actually turned into a demo. However, at the very end of the day, I got an email response from, so the way the process works is like when I'm given a contact, then there's an automatic process that sends an email. And the quick email just says like, do you have the capacity to take on more clients? Now, normally these emails are ignored. If anyone does any email marketing, they understand that that is just the reality of it. But this person replied, yes. So then I was going like, wait, what? That never happens. And then I wanted to call them right away, but then the air call thing wasn't working, and then I was the big freak out there. It got resolved within 15 minutes, so there was no big issue. It just felt high pressure. And then when I did end up calling them, they also, the person who said yes had someone walk into their office at the same time, someone else calling them, and they were the only person working. So the end of the conversation just was like, hey, can you call me back tomorrow? But they were very pleasant and seemed on the ball. Like they weren't brushing me off in as much going, hey, this is a bad time. So that's positive. Also 159 calls, dials, so that's the new high score. So that's good. We're gonna try to get to 200. The weekend, in hindsight, I wish I had have spent it differently. I wasn't very productive on it, but I wasn't depressed. Like every day, I finished the night with like having some drinks just by myself, watching YouTube and stuff, like nice and relaxing. Like it was good. During the day, I would do chores. I went on walks, so I was active and everything, but I didn't do any of the video editing I wish I had done. And if I think back, like I go Saturday morning, I didn't feel refreshed. Like I still felt a little hungover. So then like I'm getting up later, like around 10ish. And then I go drive a place to Walmart, like get some food, then go here to go for a walk and stuff. And by the time I get back, I'm a little more pooped. And so I don't get right to it. I just choose the more passive thing, which is just watching online, which then puts me into a state that isn't in as much go. All that's to say is I want to this next weekend actually use it better. Or maybe I need to actually plan out like a schedule of something, because it's the drinking isn't problematic if it's like prepared for. I feel guilt. It's more like I go like, if I actually plan for a day where this is what I'm going out that night, I'm just like doing me that night, then I can Friday night not do me, resist the temptation, so that Saturday morning then actually is productive. So then when Saturday evening comes, then I actually feel accomplished, and not as though it will make the experience enjoyable, and I can actually go like, okay, I'm relaxing regardless, whatever. Also, because I've been looking into therapists, and the thing that I want and need is for me to respect them and believe they understand me. Because if I don't have both of those things, I'm going to ignore everything that they say. And by ignore, I mean, not ignore, dismiss. That's like going to be my first thing. I don't want to have to, like, I want to just listen to the person and go like, okay, no, you actually understand where I'm coming from. And so there's this YouTube channel that I actually came across called Sadia Psychology. And I've watched a couple podcasts. There's like a Chris Williamson podcast. That is a deer. That's a doe. It's 2. Chris Williamson podcast that she's on, a Lewis Howes podcast, and then there was another guy with a... How many fucking animals are there? My default, whenever I see deer, I get tense, because normally you're in a car and you don't want them to jump out and you hit them. But I'm not in the car right now. But she was everything that she would describe about the male experience, or how relationships work, or even she like had like interesting takes on what leads people to cheat, which then opened up a box. But before I get there, I always found what her takes were accurate, and I'm going like, yes, no, that is 100% true. Like the one of them was going how men I'm forgetting, men absolutely melt whenever their significant other will predict their needs and do something, like will like fix them something to eat because they think they might be hungry, like little things like that. Or like I think of like like having me turn around and then everything be tidy and clean. It just like, it brings just such a warm sense of like, oh, I didn't even realize that I needed that was bugging me, but now that it's solved, I understand that it is no longer bugging me, and just really appreciating that. But then on that, but we have been conditioned in society by the education system to feel that to ask something that of a woman is being oppressive, which I would 100% agree. Like it feels like I'm not allowed to say that, because that's me just going, you conform to gender roles and all this kind of stuff, which is interesting, because then it's going like, okay, but but I feel fucking loved when you do stuff like that. So then like, how do I like, yeah. Where this is going is, I thought she was just going to be a content creator kind of thing, but on her Instagram thing, she had, like, you can book a one-on-one call with her, like, because she's a certified psychologist or whatever kind of thing. And so what I think makes sense, her rate is high. I know it's like 349 euros, which comes out to like 585 Canadian dollars. But so then that's where the thinking is going, is would it be better to go with a more affordable local psychologist whom I could see once a week for 3 months? Or would it be better to speak to someone who I have that connection with, or not connection, whom there's already a level of rapport that has been built. I know who I'm going to be speaking to, and I will trust the things that they say, even if then that would turn into going like, okay, so you can only go once a month. And then the thought is it more important to see a therapist more often, or is it more important to see a therapist consistently over the long term? And then with that, is it better to see a therapist whom you trust the advice of less frequently over the long term for a longer period, or someone who you are taking a chance on and may disappoint you? That's the question. I'll go, where is the real work done? Is the real work done in those conversations, or is it outside of those conversations, but maybe it is initiated by what happens in the conversations, but then the work is done outside, kind of thing? So that's a bunch of thought that I've been thinking. I'm hoping tonight I actually get, like, I go home and eat. I'm excited to get a gym membership, so then that can be my morning. Today I did get up at 6 in the morning, so that's good. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna name this, whether it's gonna be the Personal Growth Collection Continued, whether I'm gonna find the particular day I started and then move, like actually count this, but then a bunch of it is undocumented. It feels like I should have to start over, but I don't know. We'll see. These are things I will have to figure out. But anyways, that is all I have for right now.